welcome back to the 5th episode of WEDucation, a podcast for up-and-coming wedding planners and anyone that likes weddings. My name is Donna Kim, and I am the owner of The Perfect Details. And for this episode, I thought about all of the out-of-state brides and grooms that always want recommendations for local food and drink options to make their weddings uniquely special to the location. And I did a lot of weddings in Rhode Island from the Boston area, but I did most of my weddings actually in Rhode Island. And most of my clients that were getting married in Rhode Island weren't from Rhode Island, so they needed some extra help. And I was lucky that I had a lot of great friends that gave me great advice about different places and foods and different special drinks that are uniquely Rhode Island. So my friend Greta decided to accompany me, and we did a Providence, Rhode Island food crawl. And for a small state, there is a lot of great and unique food, and we really only just hit the surface with this. But I will provide links to the places that we visited in my blog. So the link will be below, and you can click that to get the list of the places that we went to if you want that. And since this was my first crawl that I ever did, trying to make sure that I was recording this for my podcast, I'll admit, I didn't do a good job in keeping track of our adventures with the recording and taking pictures. So I did use some pictures from the websites of the places that we visited to help kind of round it out and make it more interesting. And the podcast that has video is available on my YouTube station, and I will provide a link for that as well. But without further ado, we're going to start the crawl. So it's 9:30 in the morning, and I'm waiting for Greta to join me, and I'm in the parking lot of Hobby Lobby in Attleboro, and we're going to start our Providence food crawl. And if you're interested in seeing all the places that we went and don't have time to listen to the whole podcast yet, but you should definitely listen to the whole podcast, I will list all the places below. So take a moment to take a look if there's something that you're interested in. Oh, but here's Greta. Hi, Greta.
Hi. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to go to Providence today.
So what are we doing today? We're going to stop at a few different places. We're going to go to Hope Artist Village Farmers Market. And then where are we going to go after that?
7 Stars Bakery.
7 Stars Bakery. And then we're going to go to Stock Culinary Goods. And then, are we getting donuts?
Yeah, PVD donuts and possibly more donuts.
Oh, maybe more donuts. And then we're going to head over to Federal Hill.
Yeah.
And we're going to look over at what? Venda Raviola?
Venda Raviola.
Okay. And then we're going to have a little pastry treat over at Pastiche.
And then I think we're going to go get hot dogs.
We're going to maybe get a wiener, but we'll talk more about that later.
Okay.
All right, so we're off on our way. We'll be back. So our first stop that we went to was the Farm Fresh Winter Market at Hope Artist Village in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. What I didn't realize at the time was that it was the very first market of the season, which was really great. And there's plenty of parking around. We had to drive around a little bit to find parking, but there's lots of free street parking. There's a few lots. It's a big, big village. They have businesses that are there. They do events there. I remember going there years ago when they opened it up to have weddings, and they were showcasing the space there. So there's art studios, there's work lofts, there are living lofts, there's retail shops, there's workshops, and there's professional office suites, and they have cafes and a coffee roaster and fitness studios. I mean, there's so many things going on, and I will provide a link to Hope Artist Village and also to the Farm Fresh Market as well. But it's every Saturday from November 2nd to April 25th, 2020, 9 to 1. They're open snow or shine is what they say. And they do have cancellations, and it's on their social media. So if you're interested, you can follow them and find out if they've got things happening that way. But there were over 80 vendors that were there. They were selling everything from vegetables to apples. They had someone selling cranberries. They had oysters. They had meat. They had eggs, cheeses, bread, gluten-free items, other baked items, lotions, cosmetics, candles, honey, pickles, chocolates, lollipops, nuts, food trucks outside, beverages, flowers, plants, holiday gifts. There was so much. It was really great. So the places that we hit were New Harvest Coffee Roasters, and I'll provide a link to them. And we got some of their coffee. Greta actually bought some of their coffee for a gift as well. They were really nice. They roast right down the street. Lots of selection. Very crowded right when you first walked into the market. And I ended up buying some kimchi, and the woman was really nice. She was giving me the recipe for the kimchi fried rice, which is on their blog, and I will provide that link as well. What's funny is I'm Korean, and I've actually never eaten kimchi fried rice. So I've had fried rice, I've had kimchi, I've never mixed them together. So that's something I'm looking forward to doing, because I think that in the winter, that'll be a nice, comforting kind of dish. And she had a really great recipe, and we met Minnie, who's one of the owners, and she was really interesting. She grew up on a rice farm, so she's very particular about her rice and those dishes. So they offer two kinds of kimchi, the traditional style, and then, which is all, both of them were made with the Napa cabbage, and then they use fish sauce, but their vegan brand uses a non-GMO miso. So I tried both of them. They're both really great. No preservatives, no MSG, lots of probiotics, and gluten-free. And they are traditionally fermented, not the quick pickle like a lot of these restaurants do these days. So when you're Korean and you grow up with your mother and your grandmother making kimchi, I guess you can be a little bit of a snob about it. But it was really good. I'm looking forward to having kimchi fried rice at some point. So, but then after that, we ended up going into, so the farmer's market is set up so that down the hallways, they have people that are set up, I guess, like temporarily for the day. And then off of those sides, there are storefronts so that you can go into the stores. And there was a violin maker. There were lots of clothing and cards. And one of the purveyors that we found was Anchor Toffee. Now, Anchor Toffee also has a location in Newport at Bowen's Wharf. And they had great samples, delicious toffee. I ended up buying some. I love that they have this little, of course, anchor on their packaging, so that makes it really cute if you wanted to include it in a welcome basket or as a favor. And they had a couple flavors there. They had almond butter toffee, which is the one I think we both bought. They had pumpkin spice. They had a peppermint bark, which was coated with a white chocolate, and a coconut almond. So really interesting. They make their toffee right there, and I guess then they have also the storefront in Newport. So I'll provide a link for Anchor Toffee as well. And I guess it was the day of donuts. We went to, we had a few donuts, but Need Donuts was also at the farmer's market. And they have a couple locations in Rhode Island. They're at the Custom House in downtown. They're at Elm Grove on the east side. And then they have a Weston store on Cromwell Street. And then obviously at the farmer's market as well. So they say that they are seasonally inspired and traditional gourmet donuts made with locally sourced wholesome ingredients. And I love that they have on Friday evenings a hot donut window, the night crawler. I mean, that's great. And they serve a limited made-to-order menu. So one of these days, if I happen to be in Providence on a Friday night, I have to check out the night crawler. But we tried their signature donut, which is the brown butter pecan brioche donut. It's a brioche donut coated with a brown sugar glaze and toasted pecans that it's rolled in. So Greta and I did taste that, and I'm going to pause here and we're going to play the recording for that. Okay,
Are we going to take a picture of the donut?
We'll take a picture later. We're going to just eat this. This is just
gonna...
audio.
Oh,
so.
right. Yeah.
Okay. But that's okay. All right. Wow.
There's a lot of mess.
We're in my car, too, so this is going to be really interesting. I'm going to probably need to clean my car. It's a good excuse to clean the car. Okay. Thank you. All right. So it's a big donut. We'll take a picture of it later. Lots of pieces falling off.
Out.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it looks great. It's a brioche-style donut. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I just got crumbs on my shirt.
I love the crunch. It's nice. It's comforting. It looks like it was proved long enough.
We also watch a Great British Bake Off all the time, too, if you can't tell. It's really a nice balance. It has enough salt, because that's my thing. If it's too sweet, don't you think it's got a good balance of the salt and the fat and the sweet?
It's definitely not too sweet.
No.
It's perfect. It's perfect for adults.
Yes. Okay. There you go. Perfect for adults. That was the donut, Need Donut. And then we happened to walk into another side store, and I met wedding dessert expert Crystal Sparkman. She was so nice. She has a beautiful display. She was selling cupcakes, but since we just ate the donut, we weren't feeling like getting any more sweets at that point. But her company is called Bake, Eat, Love, which I love. It's like Eat, Pray, Love, right? And she does all kinds of desserts. She does wedding cakes. She does favors. She does cake pops. She does cupcakes. She does dessert tables. And did I mention she's really nice and she's really kind. And I love supporting a local business. I love supporting my wedding friend or, vendors. And, Crystal really, you can just tell she really loves what she does. And her little cute storefront is just adorable. So I hope if you're interested in something in the baked world for an event or an occasion, you'll stop by and visit Crystal. And then I happen to be thirsty after eating all those things. And there's plenty of samples throughout the market too. So I was trying lots of different great cheeses, and somebody had a vegan cheese, but they were so crowded I couldn't get to them. So next time I'm going to try that one. But I ended up getting a cup of blue ginger kombucha from La Luna Kombucha. And they offer different sizes, so you can get it to go. They give you they can buy the bottle and get a bigger bottle to keep it in that. And the blue ginger was great because it had the ginger flavor that I like, and the blue was from blueberries. And it was very subtle, and it just added a nice little sweetness to it, and it was this kind of cool color too. So their tagline is, the finest teas, New England spring water, local, organic, tiny batches, never pasteurized and never force carbonated. And it really had a very nice fizz to it, but it was very subtle. And, I love these fermented drinks. So it was really perfect when you're drinking all this sweet stuff to kind of feel like you're doing something good. So that kind of rounded out our adventure at Hope Artist Village. If you're in the area, or even if you're not, I totally recommend it. It was one of the best farmers markets I've been to in a long time. I happen to really love the Troy, New York farmers market, but that is quite a distance away. And this one is much closer, and it's indoors. So I suspect that with the holidays, there'll be even more activity and more vendors and more fun things to buy there. But it's a really great place to kind of buy a lot of different local things. So our next stop is 7 Star Bakery. So I'm going to stop here and we'll head on to 7 Star. We just left 7 Stars Bakery, and I bought a sourdough batard, and I got an almond croissant because I always have to get an almond croissant. Greta, what did you get?
I also got a sourdough batard, and I saw an everything pastry that looked amazing.
Ooh.
And it had like a cream cheese well in it, and then everything seasoning, so I'm very excited to try it.
So literally down the street from the Hope Street location of 7 Stars Bakery is Stock Culinary Goods. And again, plenty of parking on the street. Seven Stars Bakery has their own parking lot, but it's small and it's quite crowded. So you can definitely find street parking. That's not an issue at all. And there's a couple of other cute stores too that I'm going to talk about. But Stock Culinary Goods I found a few years ago, and I bought a lot of cute things. I probably added to my already ridiculous cookie cutter collection there. They had a Rhode Island cookie cutter. They had a Massachusetts cookie cutter. So it was fun to go in there, and it's changed over the years. Their tagline is, "We are obsessed with all things food. The cooking, the eating, the talking about, the learning. Relatedly, we sell goods that promote the above." And a lot of the vendors that they have in there were represented at the farmers market. So that was a good thing to see that, oh yes, same vendors. They had a couple extras as well. And I really enjoyed talking to the lady that was working there. She gave us a really good tip, which I'll talk about later at Pastiche. They had a lot of great products. They had a coffee milk candle. And if you're not from the Rhode Island area, I think it's the official drink of Rhode Island, which is basically like chocolate milk, except you use coffee syrup. And there's a very particular kind of coffee syrup. I know over the years I've had to buy it and put it into welcome bags, and it's the Autocrat coffee syrup. There are a lot of artisan coffee syrups, and there are other brands, but this is kind of the original brand. And then if you want to go one step further than coffee milk, it's the Cabinet. And the Cabinet is basically a coffee milkshake. So you add ice cream, and some people add a shaved ice. Cabinet is an actual cocktail, but this is no alcohol. But I'm sure there are versions that have alcohol too. So I really enjoy going to Stock Culinary Goods. And then across the street from Stock Culinary Goods was Rhode Craft. And I didn't have a great picture, so I pulled one off of their website, and I'm going to put it onto the slideshow. But it's very easy to find. It says Rhode Craft right across the street. And it's also adjoined to Evolve, which is the spa. And they have a lot of great cosmetic products available there too. But Rhode Craft has a lot of very cool, unique, eclectic collections of things that are locally made. They have cards, they have magnets, they have things to wear, onesies, baby gifts, paper goods, jewelry, t-shirts, home goods, all those kinds of things. So if you're looking for something fun, again, as a favor or for a welcome bag, I'm sure they could help you. I loved, I think it was actually, I'll put the picture up, but it's Stock Culinary Goods. I saw this really cute New England bag. If you're really, wanting to go big or wanting to do special bags for people, they had really cute, usable canvas bags. So I'm always for a good bag that, when people are traveling, they can just fold it up and they can take it home and then reuse it and remember their nice weekend. So I loved that this craft store was across the street from the Stock, which I really love too, and down the street from Seven Stars. So you got a kind of like triangle of things that you can do right there. So when we finished over at Rhode Craft, we got back into the car and we went to PVD Donuts. And I'll see you on the other side of PVD Donuts. Whew. Okay, so we just left PVD Donuts, which was surprisingly not crowded today. And a great tip for you is that they also have a pre-order system. So you can order things online and avoid the big long line if there is one. So today there wasn't a line, and they do lots of things for weddings. They have donut walls, they have donut hole towers, they do all kinds of things. They told me there almost isn't anything that they won't do related to a donut. But Greta and I bought a variety of donuts that we pre-ordered, and they were available for us, which was great. I ended up getting an apple cider donut, an apple cider flourless donut, so that's their kind of gluten-free donut, a cereal milk, and a maple frosted. And Greta, what did you end up getting?
Well, I also got a maple frosted. One of us got a pumpkin.
Oh.
I'll be happy to eat it if you don't want it. And I got a maple, also got a honey cinnamon dip, the brioche donut, and a carrot cake donut, which I'm very excited about. Ooh. And cereal milk for my daughter because she loves the colorful donuts.
Of course. So you can tell what we're going to be having for breakfast tomorrow. It's going to be donut heaven. So, okay, so we'll report back on the PVD donuts as well later on. So we just left Vendor Ravioli, which is in the Federal Hill district of Providence. And Greta, what did you get today?
Oh man, it was so hard to choose amongst the many varieties of ravioli. And I'm not Italian in any sort, but I like filled pasta a lot. So I ended up getting the prosciutto and provolone ravioli and the burrata cheese.
Ooh.
I think it'll be a real hit with the family.
Yeah, you'll have to tell me how those are.
I will.
I ended up getting the pumpkin tortellini, which I believe is a seasonal. And then I also got the porcini agnolotti. So I'm excited to try both of those too. And
what kind of sauce are you going to use?
I think I'm probably going to do an Alfredo.
Oh,
what
great.
about you?
I think I'm probably going to use a marinara.
Oh.
Just a straight up marinara.
Whew. Okay. Well, we just left Pastiche, which is right around the corner from Federal Hill. So if you're planning to do both of these, you don't have to actually move your car like I did. And it's really small. I mean, I've been following them for years and years and never gone in. And it's great. There's table service available, or you can get orders to take out. But we got table service. And Greta, what did we order today?
We ordered a chocolate raspberry layer cake. And we also ordered a brown butterscotch. I'm not sure what to call it. A cake?
Was it like a crumb cake, maybe?
A crumb cake, yeah.
We got that tip from the lovely lady over at the Stock Culinary Goods. She told us that we had to get this butterscotch crumb cake. And so...
with extra whipped cream.
Right. And it comes warm. So why don't you tell us what you thought about both of them, Greta, and then I'll add my 2 cents.
Well, my personal favorite was the chocolate raspberry layer cake.
Yeah, me too, for sure.
I loved the raspberry sort of mousse. I'm not sure if it was mousse.
Yeah, I think it was a mousse inside. It was really tart and very delicious with the cake. But
and there was chocolate ganache, and there was like a raspberry that had sort of been sprayed with this gold dust.
It was
like
amazing.
Yeah.
Really beautiful and delicious.
Beautiful, delicious, everything you could possibly want in a dessert.
I was not disappointed at all. So really exquisite. And all the cakes can be bought by the slice or bought whole. So if you had a special occasion, I kept saying this to Greta when we were in Pastiche, that I can't imagine how busy that place is at the holidays, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's so tiny.
So packed.
But really busy and really lovely. And so this butterscotch crumb cake is served warm with a side of extra whipped cream. And it was a little dry to me, so I did definitely need the extra whipped cream, right?
Yes. Although it tasted like it would have been a good choice for breakfast.
Yes. I mean, we've kind of been on a breakfast thing with the donuts, but it really, it definitely lived up to its crumb cake name.
Yes.
And we also got a passion fruit soda, which is one of their Italian sodas that they offer, which
was wonderful.
Oh, it was really great. The little tartness was good with all the sugar. So, so after all that sugar, we're going to be now heading. Where are we going?
I think we're going to get a special kind of hot dog.
Oh, we're going
to Rhode Island.
We're going to the Onlyville, New York system wiener. So we'll catch you over there. All right, so we just saw the strangest thing, and I'm going to make sure I put a picture up of this, but I don't know what else to call it other than a cake wreck. What do you think, Greta? Cake wreck?
Well, it just looked like something very bad had happened to this multi-layer cake. I mean, there's like raspberry filling and buttercream and yellow cake all over the sidewalk. It was horrible. This poor cake had been through the ringer.
I mean, it had specially made board for the cakes that it was sitting on, and I think the thing that was really so funny to me is, where's the box? I mean, it literally was like just a cake, no box. And if there was any decor on the cake, there was no decor on the cake. So I don't know. What'd you think? I thought it was kind of odd.
It was odd, and I heard randomly from a friend who went to Brown that it could have been like part of an art exhibition by RISD students. So, I mean, maybe this is just their way of expressing themselves.
Does anyone have any information at this? If anyone is listening to this podcast and knows more about this cake wreck art installation via RISD or Brown, please leave me a comment. I really am curious.
Yeah, we really want to know what
curious,
happened
right?
with this cake.
It looks sad. It made me, as a baker, it made me sad to see this cake all in pieces. But we've been eating steadily throughout today. We went into Olneyville, New York System Wiener. It's kind of like old-fashioned diner in a way. I mean, the menu is like just pieces of 8.5 by 11, and they're all like lined up, on the kitchen counter, and you just kind of read and see what it is that you want. What did we get? We got the New York System Special or whatever. It was a Wiener Special.
And do not call them hot dogs.
Oh.
They all get mad at you. They told me I did the wrong thing.
Yeah.
By calling it a hot dog, because that's not a hot dog.
But, Greta redeemed herself as she always does. She was sweet and charming, and then they loved us. But, the Wiener Special was 2 hot dogs, 2 fries, and a soda. So, and if you get the wiener the way it's supposed to be done all the way, it's a hot dog with celery salt, onions, and their special meat sauce. And I found it quite tasty, especially after all the sugar we've had.
Yes, and was there mustard?
Oh yeah, there was mustard too. So
that was great.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I mean, it's definitely, and we saw lots of pictures of celebrities that have been there, like Guy Fieri, right?
Andrew Zimmern.
And
the guy on Man vs. Food.
Right, and isn't he Andrew something too?
Yes.
And Kevin something, the guy from Mall Cop. Kevin James from Mall Cop. He also ate there too. So
Paul Blart.
Oh yeah. So we had a good time there. It was and the fries were super, super hot. I have to mention that too. So if you're looking for something that's a little unique at the end of a wedding and you want to do instead of like, ice cream or whatever, I mean, a New York System Wiener wasn't a bad idea. So on our entire day, which went from 9:30 in the morning to about 6:30 at night, there was one place that we didn't get to go to, which wasn't too far away, but it just didn't happen to work in our schedule, but I did want to mention it, and that is Confectionery Designs. And I used Confectionery Designs when I was a wedding planner quite a bit. They do great wedding cakes. They did dessert tables. They also have a pastry shop, and now are also doing delicious donuts. I'm sad I didn't get one. They have holiday desserts that you can order, and they use really great ingredients. And I love the 2 people that run it and that own it, Mark and Marie Soliday. They're just the nicest and really talented. Mark is so talented, and he is a certified executive pastry chef, and he also teaches at Johnson & Wales as a pastry arts instructor. So he really is the real deal. And Marie has a great partnership with him and really does a great job selling and informing you and keeping you involved and helping you through the creative process. So I don't know if there's anything they can't do. I've seen some really wonderful things over the years, and they are really the cream of the crop. So if you're getting married in that area and are looking for something sweet, they are definitely someone that you should contact, and I would be remiss if I didn't include them. So Marie, one of these days I'm getting one of those donuts and we're going to have that visit. So I think that's the thing that I really love so much about this little state, this little roadie. It's there's some really great people, and I've made some really great friendships with the vendors, my frienders in Rhode Island, and it was always fun to do weddings in Rhode Island because I had a really great rapport with so many vendors, and because it's small, you tend to work with the same people quite a bit if you are in that nice little circle. And I was really honored as an outsider, as an out-of-stater from the Boston area, to kind of come into the Newport area. And that was kind of a special thing and not something that happened that often, but I was very welcomed and I was very appreciative of that and grateful for some of the best weddings that I did through my career happened to be in the Rhode Island area with these great vendors. So I will, like I said, provide a link on my on this podcast to my blog, and that will have a list of all the places that we visited. There's a wide range of things. There are things that are there if you wanted to use people for a wedding. There are things there if you just wanted to go on the crawl. I'd love to know if you decided to take the crawl. If there's one thing that you wanted to do, it would be to go to the farmer's market perhaps. And that way you could hit a lot of the different places and enjoy a lot of the things. Seven Stars Bakery even has a bake shop within the farmer's market as well. So you could hit a whole bunch of things. But everything was close to each other. The way I mapped it out is exactly the way that we drove it and the way we did the crawl. And we basically started at one end in Pawtucket and we went down to the other part of Providence. And then we came right back up. And it was 20 minutes to get back up to Attleboro. So really easy and a lot of fun. And like I said, I only hit the tip of the iceberg in Rhode Island. There's so many other things like the stuffy that we didn't hit. And there's Dell's Lemonade that we didn't do. And there's all kinds of things in Bristol, and there's all kinds of unique places all over Tiverton, and I shouldn't say all over, but in Tiverton and in Little Compton. There's all these special little cute places that I loved and explored. And maybe I'll do another podcast at another time for that. But if you have any questions or you have any comments, I'd love to know. Did this help you? Were you inspired? Did you want to do your own food crawl? Please leave me a comment. I'd love to know. And again, this podcast, WEDucation, is on my website, theperfectdetails.com. My name is Donna Kim, and thanks so much for joining me. And thanks very much to my friend Greta for joining me on my Providence Food Crawl. Have a great day. Bye.